Hey, what's up, people? Piz out here, and as part of my month-long October Halloween-a-thon, I'm going to bring you guys my review of Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, and God help me as I try and deliver you a coherent plot synopsis for the film. But Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, finds Michael and his niece, Jamie Lloyd. They're being housed by this coven of thorn-worshipping modern-day druids in this underground facility. Jamie Lloyd is pregnant, and the coven want to take her baby and sacrifice it to Thorn. She eventually escapes. Michael is hot on her heels after the baby. He eventually finds himself back on the streets of Haddonfield. We discovered that some relatives of the Strodes are now living in the old Myers house. And the youngest member of that family, a little boy, is actually hearing the same voices that young Michael Myers way back when heard, commanding him to kill his sister. And Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers is very reminiscent of the time in which it was made, the mid-90s. And if you recall, just about every movie of that era was highly influenced by the kind of MTV music video style and editing, and Halloween 6 is no exception. Lots of quick cuts, lots of weird angles, stylistic decisions, stuff like that. Halloween 6 was no exception. And I don't think that kind of stylistic choices really hinder the film. As a matter of fact, I think it helps the movie, to be perfectly honest. The movie just has this overall just really crazy, macabre, wild feel to it, and that kind of editing and style and the color scheme of the film as well, just sort of lends to that overall atmosphere of the film. But Halloween 6 marked the final on-screen appearance of Donald Pleasance as Dr. Loomis. He passed away shortly after the film was completed, and though he was much older at this time, he was not in good health. He turns in a really strong performance, I think, a much better performance in this than in Halloween 5. It also marks the first on-screen appearance of Paul Rudd, who of course is known now for comedies. He actually plays the adult Tommy Doyle, who was the little boy that Jamie Lee Curtis was babysitting in the first film. Danielle Harris does not reprise her role as Jamie Lloyd, though the role was offered to her. They wanted to lowball her as far as salary is concerned, and she backed out, which actually the character of Jamie Lloyd sort of meets an unceremonious end in this film. A little more of a ceremonious end in this version of the film than in the producer's cut, but I'll talk more in depth about the producer's cut of Halloween 6 in the next video. But Halloween 6 overall, it feels, again, kind of like an incomplete film. It feels like the kind of movie that went through a lot of reshoots, and it did. Especially the ending of the film, and I think that they really had no idea how to end it as far as when they were doing the reshoots. They just sort of ended it. The end is kind of sucky. It's one of those, it just is what it is, open-ended kind of endings. But I think, to consider all the loose ends that Halloween 5 left, which, Halloween 5 in and of itself, in my opinion, is just one big loose end. We really have to give props to the writer of the film, Daniel Farrens, who, really came in, and I think he helped, to make that storyline in any way cohesive, that they wanted to follow, directly from Halloween 5, Halloween 6, to try and tie up, who was the man in black, what's with this tattoo, what was going on in that movie. He had a huge task at hand. I think he did just a phenomenal job making Halloween 6 as coherent as it really is. The film overall, I've always really enjoyed it. I've always had a real soft spot for Halloween 6. It's definitely not a standout in the series. It's not the best entry in the series, but it's certainly not the worst. I've always really enjoyed it. I like the Paul Rudd character in the film. I like the Marianne Hagen character in the film. Of course, Donald Pleasance, very strong in the film. Aside from that, really no great standout characters in the movie. The just overall atmosphere of the movie I really like. Like I said, it's got this really crazy, wild, out there, mad and macabre atmosphere that I just really like. I did like the stylistic choices of the director, Joe Chappelle, although he was kind of, in a lot of instances, I think, trying to mimic the MTV style of the time, especially in this cut, as opposed to the producer's cut. But again, I'll go more in depth with the producer's cut in the next video. But yeah, Halloween 6 was just one of those, again, a movie that I rented a lot growing up from the video store. It came out when I was a teenager. I wasn't able to see it in the theater. It was the first Halloween film that I was actually could have seen in the theater, though I just never got around to seeing it. Rented it a lot when it came out on video. I do like the film a lot. I do reach for the movie a lot. And I don't know, I just have a lot of fun watching Halloween 6, the producer's cut. It brings back a lot of memories. It's definitely got that fall Halloween time feel about the movie, and I really appreciate that a lot. I think even better, that feeling of the time of year, I think, is captured better in Halloween 6 than it was in 5 or really 4. So I definitely give them props for that. Yeah, just overall, I really like Halloween 6. It's got problems. It definitely has some issues. I mean, it suffered from not having a big budget. There were rewrites. There were a lot of reshoots. They actually took, it was a low-budget movie to begin with, but then they took $1 million out of its budget to give for the reshoots of Hellraiser Bloodline. So, they even had to, bring it down another notch because they were having to give money to Hellraiser 4. Yeah, overall, I really like Halloween 6. It's one of those that I find myself reaching for and watching and rewatching more than some of the others in the series, and I just get a big kick out of it. I've always had a really soft spot for it, yeah, it's just a lot of fun. Like I said, the theatrical cut feels a little incomplete. Definitely got bit by the reshoot bug, but yeah, doesn't hurt it that much, I don't think. I still really enjoy it. I still highly recommend it. So until next time, when I delve into discussing Halloween 6, the producer's cut, you guys take it easy. Have a great, safe, fun Halloween season. And until next time, peace.